The security environment of Northern Europe has shifted decisively over the past decade, and nowhere is this more visible than in the maritime domain. The Baltic Sea, the North Sea, and the approaches to the North Atlantic have become tightly contested spaces where reaction time is short, sensor coverage is dense, and survivability depends on striking first from beyond the adversary's effective defensive envelope. In this context, the emergence of the 3SM Tyrfing program marks a fundamental change in how Nordic countries and Germany think about sea denial, deterrence, and industrial autonomy. For audiences in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Germany, the relevance of Tyrfing lies less in abstract strategic theory and more in concrete capability gaps exposed by recent conflicts. The war in Ukraine has demonstrated how quickly precision weapons, sensors, and layered defenses can compress the battle space. At sea, this compression is even more severe. Modern naval engagements are decided in minutes, sometimes seconds, and the side that can launch a credible long-range strike before being detected or targeted holds a decisive advantage. For Nordic navies that operate with relatively small fleets, quality and reach must compensate for limited mass. Tyrfing is being developed precisely to answer this challenge. The program is led by Kongsberg Defence and Aerospace, building on decades of experience with the Naval Strike Missile. Unlike incremental upgrades, Tyrfing represents a generational step. It is conceived as a supersonic anti-ship missile capable of sustained high-speed flight, with a projected engagement range that significantly exceeds existing European sea-skimming systems. For Nordic planners, this means the ability to threaten high-value surface combatants well before they can bring their own weapons to bear. Recent updates to the program underline that Tyrfing is no longer a conceptual project. Norway's defense procurement authorities have already committed significant funding in Norwegian kroner to early development phases, signaling political backing and long-term intent. Germany, for its part, has moved beyond observer status and into active partnership. German participation is not symbolic. It reflects Berlin's recognition that future naval deterrence in the Baltic and North Sea will depend on weapons that can penetrate dense air defense networks and impose real costs on any adversary attempting to dominate these waters. For a German audience, the industrial dimension of Tyrfing is especially important. The program integrates key elements of Germany's defense industrial base through the involvement of Diehl Defense and MBDA Deutschland. This structure ensures that Germany is not merely a customer, but a co-developer, with access to critical technologies and design authority. In an era where European defense policy increasingly emphasizes strategic autonomy, this matters as much as raw performance figures. Technically, Tyrfing is designed around a sustained supersonic flight profile enabled by a ramjet propulsion concept. This choice is not accidental. Supersonic speed dramatically reduces the defender's reaction window and complicates interception, especially when combined with low-altitude approaches and evasive terminal maneuvers. While exact specifications remain classified, open assessments point to a weapon optimized for defeating modern naval air defenses, rather than simply outranging them. For Nordic navies operating close to their own coastlines, this capability supports a doctrine of sea denial, rather than sea control, forcing adversaries to operate at greater distance or accept higher risk. The logic for Nordic countries is straightforward. Norway, with its long coastline and proximity to key North Atlantic routes, needs the ability to threaten hostile surface forces before they can project power ashore or interdict maritime traffic. Finland and Sweden, now fully integrated into NATO planning, face similar challenges in the confined and sensor-rich environment of the Baltic Sea. A weapon like Tyrfing fits naturally into this defensive posture, offering credible deterrence without requiring large surface fleets. Germany's motivations overlap, but also extend further. As NATO's central logistical hub in Europe, Germany has a vested interest in keeping the Baltic Sea and North Sea open for Allied movement, while denying the same freedom to potential adversaries. The future German frigate force, including platforms planned for the coming decade, is being designed with modularity and growth potential in mind. Tyrfing's projected compatibility with standard vertical launch systems aligns well with this philosophy, offering Germany a high-end strike option that can be integrated without redesigning entire ships. From an algorithmic perspective, audiences in Northern Europe respond strongly to content that connects industrial decisions to battlefield realities. Tyrfing provides a clear narrative arc. It starts with a recognized operational gap, moves through a concrete multinational development program, and points toward a defined timeline extending into the early and mid-2030s. This is not speculative futurism. It is a long-term investment shaped by lessons already learned. The timeline itself is an important part of the story. Development milestones over the next several years will focus on propulsion testing, seeker integration, and system validation. Publicly discussed targets suggest a path toward operational availability in the mid-2030s, with incremental progress visible along the way. For Nordic and German audiences accustomed to long procurement cycles, this realism enhances credibility. It acknowledges that advanced weapons take time, and that managing technical and budgetary risk is as important as headline performance. Risk, in fact, is a topic that resonates deeply with Northern European viewers. Supersonic missiles are complex systems. Thermal management, guidance accuracy at high speed, and resilience against electronic countermeasures all present challenges. Critics rightly note that adversaries will not stand still, investing in improved air defenses and countermeasures of their own. Addressing these concerns openly does not weaken the case for Tyrfing. It strengthens it by framing the program as a calculated response to evolving threats, rather than an attempt at technological overreach. Another element that appeals to Nordic and German sensibilities is complementarity. Tyrfing is not intended to replace existing systems overnight. Instead, it is designed to work alongside proven subsonic missiles, offering commanders a broader toolkit. Subsonic weapons remain valuable for stealthy approaches and cost-effective saturation, while a supersonic option adds a high-impact punch for critical targets. This layered approach mirrors broader NATO thinking about redundancy and flexibility. Strategically, Tyrfing also signals a deeper integration between Nordic countries and Germany. It reflects a shared understanding that maritime security in the North cannot be addressed piecemeal. Industrial collaboration reinforces operational cooperation, creating interdependencies that strengthen alliance cohesion. For Germany, participating in a Nordic-led missile program demonstrates a willingness to invest in regional security beyond its immediate borders. For the Nordics, German involvement brings scale, resources, and political weight. Looking ahead, the success of Tyrfing will be measured not only by test results, but by how well it integrates into wider concepts of operations. Sensor networks, targeting data, and command and control systems will determine whether the missile's theoretical performance translates into real deterrence. Here again, Northern Europe's emphasis on network defense provides a favorable context. Investments in surveillance, data fusion, and joint exercises will amplify the value of a weapon designed to strike quickly and decisively. In the broader narrative of European defense, Tyrfing stands as a marker of transition. It illustrates how lessons from recent conflicts are shaping procurement decisions, how industrial partnerships are evolving, and how smaller states are leveraging technology to maintain credible deterrence. For audiences in Germany and the Nordic countries, this story resonates because it combines pragmatism with ambition. It is about preparing for the realities of future conflict without losing sight of economic and political constraints. As the program moves forward, observers should watch for signals beyond technical tests. Budget allocations in euros and Norwegian kroner, statements from defense ministries, and integration plans for future naval platforms will all provide clues about Tyrfing's trajectory. Each of these developments will further clarify how Northern Europe intends to defend its maritime approaches in an increasingly contested environment. For viewers interested in Northern European defense and maritime security, following the evolution of Tyrfing offers a window into how strategy, industry, and technology intersect. Subscribing to in-depth analysis ensures you stay informed as this program progresses from development to deployment, shaping the balance of power in the Baltic and North Sea for decades to come.